of your prayers. You will see what is my state right now. If you are a traveler, pray 2. If you are resident, pray 4. As simple as it all depends on when do you decide to pray. There is a difference of opinion that if you have the ability to pray 4, can you pray 4 or not? There are two opinions on that. The prayer of Jamaat is 27 times more rewarding than praying alone. Next point is that there is a concept of Watan. Watan means home. Of course, Watan in Arabic means home. People know that, and it's in Urdu. Same word is used in Urdu as well. I don't know Bengali. Bengali, you use Watan? Okay. Watan means yani hometown, not home. Watan means hometown. Home city is Watan. There are two. If I don't know about the forms here, but like if you go to Pakistan, for example, or some other countries, so if you are filling out a form for something, they will ask you for 2 addresses: your temporary address and your permanent address. So what does it mean, temporary address and permanent address? You're staying now, where you're living, and then if you have to leave this, where will you go and stay? Right? That's what it means, temporary address and permanent address. It could be that both are the same. My temporary address is my permanent address, right? So in Arabic, these two are called Watan Iqama and Watan Asli. Watan Iqama means residence, and Asli means your permanent, your asal, yani your real home. So both have a significance. In both Watan Asli and Watan Iqama. So I live in Dubai. So Dubai, not UAE, Dubai city itself. I live in Dubai, and I was born in Lahore, for example. So for a long time, I thought, so I went to US and then I moved to Dubai. It has been like 28 years and I've been out of Pakistan. I used to think that if, never intended to live in the Chicago for a long time. And when I moved to Dubai, I never intended, I thought maybe I'll live, maybe I'll not live. So I was in doubt. So I was thinking, if I go back to Pakistan, then I will go back to Lahore and settle in Lahore. So in my case, in this particular case, my temporary address was Chicago's. And when I moved to Dubai, but my permanent address remained Lahore. So this was my Watan Iqama, this is my Watan Asli. So in Watan, because Watan, so whenever you reach your Watan, then you pray full. But while you are traveling, right, for example, I go from Dubai to Lahore, which is of course more than 78 kilometers. So as soon as I leave the limits of Dubai, I become a traveler. I pray 2 rakas for all 4 rakah prayers until that I reach the boundaries of Lahore. And because that is my Watan Asli, I start praying 4 even if I'm there for like 5 days. Now in Watans, the 15-day rule does not apply. Okay? In Watan, 15 days rule do not apply. You have to make an intention in your head. What is my Watan Iqama and what is Watan Asli? It's all about intention. Recently, I thought, some time ago, I thought, if I go to Pakistan, say if I move, I'm not going to live in Lahore. I will live, say for example, in Islamabad. But that is only if. Maybe I never intend to go to Pakistan. So that means my Watan Asli is no more Lahore. I intended that I'm going to change my Watan Asli. So you can change your Watan Asli. It is all about intention. Although in traditional books you may find, where you were born, that is Watan Asli. But we need to understand, in which context those books were written. The detail of that is that you can change your Watan Asli. So you can intend to have Sydney as your Watan Asli. You are from Karachi, from Rawalpindi, from Kharia, where are you from? Dhaka. Say Dhaka. Don't say Bangladesh. Now I just explained Dhaka. Where are you from? Rawalpindi. So you can change that. Sydney is my Watan Asli because I intend to live here. Live here and die here. I'll die for Sydney. So you can do that. You can change your Watan Asli. So just remember that whatever your Watan is, whenever you arrive in your Watan, be it Iqama, be it Asli, be it permanent residence or be it temporary residence, once you arrive there, even if it's for like 3 days, 1 day, 5 days, 8 days, 9 days, less than 15 days, you still have to pray full in your Watan. But of course, on the way, while you are traveling, of course, you will pray Qasr if that is more than 78 kilometers. I explained that as well. I'm just... So, no. I said, what did I say? I say you put on the Google map what your destination is. If that turns out to be more than 78 kilometers, that's what it is. So from the point of origin to the point of from the end to the ending point. So there are two things that I've said. Of course, distance is from the start to the end. But I said you become the rules of traveling will apply once you leave the limits of your town. Two things, of course. I mean, if say for example the limit is like 10 kilometers away and I have to go like 80 kilometers away, right? So what does that mean? I'm only traveling 70 kilometers? No, I'm traveling 80 kilometers. So the whole illat, the reasoning of travel is to make ease, right? So it's not 70 kilometers that I'm traveling 80 kilometers. But because within the city, basically the hikmat is, the wisdom is that within your town, you may know people. If you are in need of something, you are able to take care of stuff. But as soon as you leave the limits of your town, then you become a stranger, and now possibly whatever, right? So yeah, from start point to the end point, that's what you consider. But it is more than 78 kilometers. Then as soon as you leave the limits of the town, then you will start praying 2 rakat. So if I intend to pray Isha now, I'm from traveler, so I have left my hometown, I have come from say Orange right now just to attend this lecture, right? So I'm a traveler. If I pray here, I'll pray 2. Say for example, after the lecture I intend to go back to Orange County. So if I intend to pray after that I go back home, then I'll pray 4. So wherever I pray, whenever I pray, based on my situation, state at that very time, that ruling will be applied to me. So if you intend to pray before you leave, you'll pray 4. If you intend to pray after that you leave your town and you're traveling for more than 78 kilometers, you will pray 2. Whenever you pray, at the time of your prayers, you will see what is my state right now. If you are a traveler, pray 2. If you are a resident, pray 4. As simple as it. All depends on when do you decide to pray. It is a possibility. Say for example, I'm going back to Dubai. It's like a 14-hour flight. Say, I'll reach Dubai, assume at 11 at night, right? After a 14-hour journey. And I think, what, if I pray Isha after going back to Dubai, after a 14-hour journey, I'll be dead tired. I'll be possibly looking out for a bed to rest. I may become very lazy. So let me pray while I'm in the plane, right? So if I pray in the plane, I'll pray 2. I could choose to pray before I land in Dubai, right? As long as Isha time has entered. So if I'm praying in the plane, I'll pray 2. And if I pray back after landing, I'll pray 4. There is a difference of opinion that if you have the ability to pray 4, can you pray 4 or not? There are 2 opinions on that. The Hanafi opinion is that no, you must pray 2. It is as if in travel the number of rak'at change from 4 to 2. So for example, we just prayed Isha 4 rak'ats. Can you do this? Say, I'm feeling like praying 6, man. Can you pray 6? No. So because the number of rak'ahs of Isha is 4. So likewise, the Hanafi opinion is that if you are traveling, the number of rak'ahs change from 4 to 2, with one exception. And that exception is that if you are praying behind a local imam. So if I go to Turkey and I go to the masjid to pray, I'm a traveler because I intend to stay there for like a week. So when I go to the masjid, because the imam is local, he is not Musafir, he is resident, he is praying 2. If I join Jamaat with him, then my rak'ahs from 2 will change back to 4 again. Then it will become 2 to 4. So for example, I only got 1 rak'ah with imam. So but because I was praying behind a local imam, so my rak'ahs have changed from 2 to 4. So when I stand up and complete my prayers, I will not just pray 1. I'll pray 3 more. You're good people.
No, we are good people.
Actually, good people. Sorry. We must pray in Jamaat. Why not? We should always pray in Jamaat. Honestly, when I pray all by myself, in travels home, alhamdulillah, I almost never pray alone. I always pray in Jamaat, alhamdulillah. But I feel like I'm missing out on something. I want to get one person so that we can do Jamaat. We should always pray in Jamaat. The prayer of Jamaat is 27 times more rewarding than praying alone. Imagine you pray alone, I pray in Jamaat, as if I prayed 27 prayers. Versus, so on the day of judgment, imagine, right, a person who has prayed in Jamaat, both of them had prayed 100 prayers in their life. He's prayed all in Jamaat, he's prayed all by himself, so he will have as if he's prayed 2700 prayers versus he who has prayed only 100 prayers. Just imagine. The question is that we spoke about that if people are in the airplane and there is no room to stand up and pray, then you pray sitting at that time, but you must make it up later on. So while I'm sitting and praying, I'm praying too because I'm in the journey. So when I make that up, how should I make that up? So we make that up with 2 rakahs. As I have prayed that prayer, so will I make it up. So I'm just making up the same prayer basically. So it was 2 was due on me at that time, so I'll make up 2. Even if I have reached my Watan, sitting back home, Sydney, or Watan, wherever. Okay? The airplane never beats the sun. The sun speed, or the Earth's speed around its axis, which actually turns into the rising of the sun and the setting of the sun. The speed of the Earth around its axis is more than the speed of the airplane. So it never happens that the airplane will beat the sun. Say for example, I take off from Sydney at, say for example, what time Zohar starts here these days? Today? 12:30. 12:30, say. So 12:40 is my flight, for example. So 12:30 Zohar time started in Sydney. So say I prayed Zohar at the airport or wherever, right? I thought I'll pray before the flight takes off. So when the flight will take off, although it will be very fast, it's flying at like 600 kilometers an hour, for example, whatever, but it's not going to beat the sun. So sun will still be a little bit ahead. So it will remain Zohar time throughout. It could be that by the time I land, it can still be Zohar time. It's a possibility, but it's never happened that the sun will pass by the sun, and when I reach there, it's Fajr time. It will never happen, right? So at the most, what will happen is that it will remain the same prayer time throughout, and when I land, it could be that the Asr time starts now. So I've prayed Zohar, I'll pray Asr whenever the time will enter. Yeah, I mean it's Zohar time, right? Why are you making it complicated? It's all about the sun. Sun has reached the Zawal time. And when I was in Sydney, I prayed Zohar. When the sun passed the Zawal, Zohar time entered, I prayed Zohar. So whenever the Asr time will enter, I'll pray Asr. As simple as that. Why am I making things complicated in my head? So when I'm traveling west, right? So yeah, the sun, because sun and the plane are sort of are very, their speed is very close to each other. So yeah, it will remain Zohar time, Zohar time, Zohar time, Zohar time, Zohar time. And then when I land, it will be, whenever the Asr time will enter, I'll pray Asr wherever. As simple as that. Don't make it complicated. Just look at the sun. It's all about the sun. When there will be one shadow according to one opinion, or 2 shadow according to the second opinion, as we discussed the other day, when it will happen, then I'll pray Asr wherever it is. It's in the plane, after landing, wherever. As simple as that. It's all about the sun.